Hi, and welcome to Who Rocks New Mexico. I'm Richard Holcomb. Each week we get up close and personal with the companies that rock New Mexico and take you behind the scenes to get the story behind the story. Today we'll talk to Kevin Goodrow of DPW Solar and discover why solar energy makes good sense for the business sector. We'll meet Joni Griffin of Griffin & Associates and learn how they make perceptions into reality. And be sure and join us for another adventure on our Travel Guide New Mexico moment. But first, let's talk to Kim Ju, just a nice guy whose photography has achieved critical acclaim worldwide.
Well, our family has been here for a while. In fact, my grandparents were one of the first Chinese immigrants to come settle here in Albuquerque, and eventually my father went in partnership with them, my grandparents, and then was in business for over 50 years, the New Chinatown restaurant. I worked and grew up there, washing dishes, busboying, waiting, cashiering, pretty much everything except bartending. I graduated from Highland High School, and after high school, I went to 2 years at UNM, pre-dental student, and I realized after quantitative analysis that maybe dentistry was not my thing, and so I decided to pursue my hobby, which was photography, and I picked up my first camera in my senior year at Highland, and made the bold decision to become a photographer. So I went away to school in Atlanta, Georgia, the Photography Institute of America. Worked after I graduated there for a commercial photographer. I assisted him for 6 months, and then I got real homesick. And I drove straight from Atlanta directly into Albuquerque in a 24-hour stretch and tried to look for work. I pretty much just started my own thing. And at the time I asked my father, how do you learn the business? He said, you just do it. And that's basically how I got started. I started by working for a wedding company that would hire photographers to photograph weddings. I would do an entire wedding for $25. They gave me 5 rolls of film. I also opened up a little studio on East Central. I had a display of black and white portraits in the window there, and people were kind of attracted to the pictures on the window. I had a real firm belief that in a lot of ways people's self-image is determined by the last portrait they had taken of themselves, and I think that's kind of how our reputation spread, just one client at a time, making sure everybody looked good. Actually, one of the first big celebrities that I actually photographed was R.C. Gorman. He stood out to me because he was this totally animated character. We got a call from the White House and saying, would you like to photograph Barbara Bush? And yeah, I jumped. I said, sure. I even got to photograph Muhammad Ali back when he was really big. You could just see the charisma come through the lens, and it's kind of amazing to me how these celebrities have come to us. It's been kind of like Forrest Gump in a way. You just wonder, how did this happen? How did this get here? It's just this idea that everybody's beautiful, and I think the best way to describe it is if I first see a client that I'm photographing, I'm kind of sizing them up, and analyzing a little bit, and hopefully I'm not doing it too overtly. But what I'm looking at is I'm looking at the things that I can really play up, that I want to play up, and that I think they want to play up. And it's all about creating the right angles. It's about lighting. It's about the posing. It's a naturalness, and it's a real ease, and it's a real personal connection. And this is really instilled in our photographers. Having your portrait taken is very personal. I mean, we're talking about people's faces here, and we're talking the fact that I don't know anybody that doesn't want to look good, so we really keep that in mind at the forefront of everything we do. I also think that people have different parts of their personality, Yes, we always like to take the timeless looks, but in today's society, I think people want to look like they're having fun too. So we run the gamut of different expressions throughout the session. You know, we'll have kind of a soft smile, a big happy smile. We'll have laughing pictures, we'll have jumping pictures. We try to get our clients to dance even, and really show different aspects of their personality so that when they make their final selections for their portraits, for their walls, that you know, they have plenty to choose from. And our job as photographers is to make sure that they have a hard time making a decision because they have pictures that they absolutely love, and that's underneath everything. Yeah.
We've been using Kim Joo as our family photographer about 6 years now.
The photographers definitely have an eye for capturing a moment, from your staged family style portraits to very unique, candid shots.
And some of the favorite ones we have are the ones where they weren't planned. The kids and us just, you know, being a family, and that's what we capture and that's what we love.
A lot of places rock our state too. Here's another Travel Guide New Mexico moment. There are a few places I insist on taking any friends and relatives that come to visit us here in the Land of Enchantment, and Bandelier is at the top of our list. Why? I'm not sure I can answer that question easily because it's just a feeling inside that brings us back again and again. Not only is this setting spectacular, nestled between the Valles Caldera and Los Alamos in the Jemez Mountains, but the community itself is spectacular. These ancient ruins run along a peaceful stream loaded with wildlife. And whether you're 8 or 80, Bandelier is a wonderful place to visit. And if you're like us, you'll come back again and again. Imagine living here, the daily sights, sounds, and smells that went on. The women busily grinding corn with these two heavy stones called mano and matate. The men working at building new buildings almost daily. And the kids herding wild turkeys, their dogs barking, having a good time playing. Everybody who lived here had their daily responsibilities and duties. The cliff in front of us is formed by volcanic tuff, which is easily eroded by the elements and impacted by our presence. Remember to stay on the trail and enter only the caves that have ladders. This house was built in the early 1920s just to show us what it must have been like with these homes that were actually built out from the cliffs themselves. However, new archaeological information indicates that this probably isn't the right design, that the people who lived here undoubtedly entered and exited from the top of the building, not from the front. These cave rooms were called Cave-8s by Edgar Lee Hewitt, who was an early archaeologist here. And a lot of people think that the smoke in here was just caused by the fires they used for cooking, but many of these were storerooms. And the black ceilings were caused by fires that were built intentionally to keep the soft pumice rock from crumbling. Well, this is the cave kiva, a little hollow in here and a little bit dark. But the feeling is that they did some weaving in here. Up on the ceiling, you can see these big pieces of timber that actually held the loom. And on the floor were anchors where they put the loom supports in place to keep everything in perfect order. Now, we think that most women do the weaving, but in fact, the ceremonial weaving in this pueblo, it was done by the men. Up the trail, you'll find the Longhouse, where the ancestral Pueblo people built multi-storied dwellings along the cliff base and carved petroglyphs into the cliff. By building dwellings against the rock face, housing units could be several stories tall. Above the top row of viga holes, there are petroglyphs. Once considered rock art, it is becoming apparent that these drawings had much deeper and more specific meanings to the people who carved them. This painted design, or pictograph, was part of a back wall of a second-story dwelling. Uncovered behind a layer of plaster, this pictograph was probably created for a very specific purpose, then covered over. Well, I'm taking a minute to catch my breath. We're about a half a mile from the main ruins, and we're at a place called the Alcove House. Now, those of us that have lived here for a long time would refer to this as the ceremonial house. It's 140 vertical feet up this ladder before you get to the cave itself, and that's where we're going to head right now. So photographer Dan is right behind us. Let's go. Well, whoever said 140 vertical feet straight up isn't a lot of work is dead wrong, I can tell you that. But here we are in the alcove house, known most commonly to us that live here as the Ceremonial Cave at Bandelier. It's a wonderful place to come and visit. There is a kiva that you can go into. Out of respect for our Native American friends, we choose not ever to film in a kiva, but you're more than welcome to climb down and see what's inside when you're here. A great climb and a great view from the alcove house. Although the Pueblo people haven't resided here in Frijoles Canyon in more than 450 years, the site isn't considered to be abandoned. The modern Pueblo people believe that the spirits of their ancestors still reside here. Bandelier, it's a great place to bring your family for a day or two. Up next, meet Kevin Goodrow, Vice President of DPW Solar, and find out why solar energy is such a hot topic and what it means for you.
Hi, I just saw Robert Wagner on television reading a script about reverse mortgages. You know, Robert doesn't know anything about reverse mortgages, but I do. Every month at Frost Mortgage, we loan hundreds of thousands of dollars to seniors to eliminate their mortgage payments for the rest of their lives. How much better would your life be if you didn't have a mortgage payment to make next month? If you're 62 or older, give us a call and we'll show you how this wonderful mortgage program works.
Fireplaces and stoves add beauty, warmth, and ambiance to any room, and nobody knows them better than Mountain West Sales in Albuquerque. Wood, pellet, and gas, we have them all, with amazing choices in size, style, and finish. The advantages to heating with wood are that it's very comfortable and it's a very unobtrusive heat. Modern wood stoves are also very efficient, so they burn less wood to provide more heat. EPA certified stoves, fireplaces, and inserts are okay to burn on no burn nights, so you'll never be restricted as to when you can burn the stove. When a wood stove is burning, it's dramatic, it's calming, and it's beautiful to look at. It will be the focal point of the room that it's in. Pellet stoves are great because they can operate on a thermostat. Most of them have electronic ignition, so they can come on and off as they need to maintain the room at a constant temperature. Pellet stoves are highly efficient. Because pellet stoves can be vented either horizontally or vertically, there aren't many places in your house where you couldn't put one, so you have lots of options for placement. All things considered, gas stoves are actually probably the most convenient fuel source. They ignite automatically, so you can run them day and night, even when you're not there. They give you a steady, even heat. There's no fuel to store, there's no maintenance, and no ashes to clean up. They actually have the highest efficiency of all the fuel types we've discussed today. Mountain West Sales. There simply isn't a better place to shop for fireplaces, stoves, or inserts.
Hi, I'm Doug Wilson.
And I'm Jerry Wilson.
And we're owners of American Tire and Service. And whether you're a customer of ours, a future customer of ours, you're very important to us and part of our family. We build our business on satisfied clients, those who live close to our location and those who drive great distances, all because of our professional service, our honesty, and the quality of work we perform. Here at American Tire, you can count on expert care from our exceptional team with innovative equipment and technology. So when you need us for a simple oil change, routine maintenance, or when that little light comes on, you'll know that we'll do the right thing the right way the first time. I've been helping people like you for more than 40 years. We're locally owned and proud to serve you. Ask for me by name, Doug Wilson, when you come in. I'd love to meet you.
American Tire and Service on Highway 528 between Southern and Northern. The only guys for you.
Hi, I'm William with Sadie's, inviting you to check out our new location at Santa Ana Star Casino. And I want to invite you to come in and see us for lunch in our new location. We're open 7 days a week with the same great Sadie's food. Come right into the dining room via the north entrance of the casino. Drive around back to the north and you can come right in. The new Sadie's at Santa Ana Star Casino. Join me for lunch.
Rising energy costs and living in a state with 300 days a year of sunshine makes solar energy a very hot topic.
I'm Kevin Goodrow. I'm the Vice President of Business Development at DPW Solar. I started the company back in 1993, designing, engineering, and installing solar electric systems. At DPW Solar, the integration division of our company does both residential and commercial photovoltaic installations. We do about 60% of our revenue last year was from commercial installations. When we're analyzing a commercial installation, we typically will get a 14-month history of their utility bill. In addition, we'll Google Earth the building to see how appropriate it is to put solar panels on it. Then we'll determine the number of modules and the kilowatt size of the array, and we'll analyze it in an economic model for the customer. When we're considering a commercial client, we're obviously looking at what their monthly electric usage is. And then we're looking at the space that's available to install the modules. Typically on a commercial installation, we're seeing between 4 and 6 years as a return on this customer's investment. Once the customer has signed a sales agreement with our company, we complete the electrical drawings. We complete the mechanical and structural drawings. Once the drawings are stamped by a professional engineer, then we take them to the appropriate authority having jurisdiction, and they review them at their plan department. During all this process, when we're waiting for the permit, we're working with a project management program, and we're looking for the critical path for the installation, from the civil to the electrical to the mechanical part of the installation. Once the interconnection agreement is completed and the permits have been granted by the authority having jurisdiction, we deploy to the site to get the job done.
My name is Raul Anaya. I'm the operations manager here for DPW Solar. I'm born and raised here in New Mexico, and I'm proud to work for a company that was started here in New Mexico. As operations manager, I'm in charge of working with our number one resource, and that's our people. Our people are what drive our product and our innovation. So it's important that we're working as a team, and that's our number one motivation here, is working as a team. How can we help each other to get our product out?
DPW Solar has installed probably 50 to 60 large-scale commercial projects. The future of solar continues to hinge on federal tax credits in solar renewable energy credits, coupled with the Renewable Portfolio Standard, which is in fact law in the state of New Mexico. Prices for solar electric systems in the last 5 years have come down 35%. I have no crystal ball as to how quickly the prices will continue to decline to get to grid parity, but I do know that our electric prices are going up.
What you're seeing here is the Fire Training Academy of the City of Albuquerque. This is a 240 kilowatt photovoltaic array, produces between 1.2 megawatt hours and 1.9 megawatt hours. This is a ground mount which we made into a carport structure. The return on investment for a commercial system of this nature is approximately 6 years.
One of the advantages DPW Solar has is our manufacturing capabilities. We're able to modify a standard rack to a custom rack, and it gives our installation team a distinct competitive advantage. And our team of engineers actually will custom design racking structures specifically for the buildings that our integration or installation team are working on. DPW Solar, being in business since 1993, we're a very diverse company. We're a manufacturer of structures and racking, as well as equipment enclosures, and we're also a turnkey installation company with a full-time electrical crew on staff. We have a staff of engineers, electrical and mechanical, unlike any of our competitors who can custom engineer and custom design both electrical and mechanical structures to fit your particular application.
DPW Solar rocks! Up next, meet one of New Mexico's top spin doctors.
This is where many songs become one, and life dances in perfect rhythm. This is everyday life when it's embraced by the extraordinary. Like no place you've ever been before, this is Albuquerque.
Selling luxury properties is one of my favorite things to do. Why? Because it's like an art. When you have a luxury property, it's special. It's not like any other property there is out there. I'm part of 3 elite networks, one of being the Elite 25, which is 25 of the state's best realtors when it comes to selling luxury properties. The other one is New Mexico Select. These are the select agents in New Mexico when it comes for selling high-end properties above $500,000. The other network I'm involved with is Keller Williams Luxury Homes International. That exposes your property to the world.
What Oscar and I like about Joe is that he understands the home building business. He understands what it takes to get the job done. He understands how we like to produce the dream home for people. He knows how we operate Renaissance Custom Homes.
So if you're thinking about buying or selling a property, give the Maez Group a call. Ask for Joe Maez. I guarantee you, I'm the Joe you should know.
This month at Frost Mortgage, we are offering our clients 3.5% 30-year fixed-rate mortgages. Do you have a 3.5% mortgage? If not, call Frost Mortgage and get one.
If your lease is about to run out in your current office and you're looking for some exquisite office space, we have just the thing for you right here in Rio Rancho. Let's take a look. 3791 Southern Boulevard in Rio Rancho represents an outstanding value in office space in the heart of Rio Rancho's business district with clean and versatile space available. 3791 Southern Boulevard is just west of Rio Rancho Boulevard, that's New Mexico 528, and is very easy to get to. 3791 Southern Boulevard is a 2-story office building and offers good visibility with signage opportunities for tenants. There is plenty of space available in the building for general office users, as well as medical users, and ample parking is provided at no additional charge. For more information about 3791 Southern, contact Dan Newman or Debbie Dupes at 505-837-4999.
What every child deserves.
To be safe in our home.
Food and clothes.
Not to be hurt.
A good education.
To grow up with our brothers and sisters.
To be loved, valued, and respected.
El Ranchito is a loving and stable children's home where brothers and sisters can live together as they grow into adulthood or until they can be reunited with their families. With your help, El Ranchito de los Niños will continue its mission for years to come. Learn how you can help. Call us today.
What artists do with a paintbrush, Joni Griffin and her team at Griffin & Associates do with words.
People have a lot of confusion about what public relations is versus advertising, and oftentimes people think they're one and the same, and they're not. Public relations is what we call earned or free media. And so those are the news stories that you read or see or listen to on the radio. Advertising is paid space, and they really work hand in glove. Public relations should be a strategy that every business incorporates in their overall marketing plan. So when you are featured in the news media, whether that's an article or it's a blog or you're on TV in a positive light, that gives your company immediate credibility. So an example is the town of Taos. This is a client I'm particularly proud of. We have been doing the tourism marketing for the town for the past 5.5 years. And one of our strategies is that we send out press releases every single week on Taos, nationally and internationally. And what's happened with that is we're averaging now about 500 news stories a month mentioning Taos, some small publications and some very major ones. So Travel and Leisure in their September issue named Taos one of the best winter getaways. And then we send out a press release announcing that, and then that gets picked up by other publications, like AOL just did that one. We sent out a press release about how dog-friendly Taos is. And we did some research, and there are more dog-friendly restaurants and hotels per capita than any other city in the United States. So we named Taos the most dog-friendly city in the United States. That got picked up majorly nationally. And so the PR just keeps repeating itself, and Taos now is at the top of all the really fabulous lists, and those lists just keep generating more media and more media and more media and more tourists.
You have to work at containing Joni, not motivating her. So she's a whirlwind. She's always got a new idea and a new direction to go, no matter what your budget is, no matter what your industry. Certainly tourism was not necessarily, when she began, a specialty of hers, but she made it a specialty, and she did incredible work for us.
So another example of a successful PR campaign is here locally, Mesa del Sol, which is a new housing development on the south end of town. Mesa del Sol had a few problems in the beginning. They kicked off with a bang, and then when the housing bust happened, they stalled for 3 years. And in 2011, we came in to take it over again, and the media was like, yeah, whatever. You know, is it for real? You started and stopped, now you're starting again. Yeah, sure. But we were successful in convincing the media of how successful the development is by once again sending out regular news releases. We did that locally as well as regionally, as well as nationally, and in industry publications. And in the 1 year time that we've had that contract, we've had over 500 stories placed on Mesa del Sol.
We've had phenomenal success in working with Griffin & Associates. Just the amount of public relations, news clips, and print media that we've received has provided a huge return on the investment.
Griffin & Associates was founded in January of 1990. We have 10 people that work here, and the average tenure of our employees is 14 years. So we've all worked together for so long. There is this synergy that happens amongst us where we can practically think each other's thoughts and usually finish each other's sentences. So when we're working on a client project, that creativity, that energy, that family relationship that we have really spurs us into all levels of new creativity.
You know, these people they're like an extension of my family, essentially, because I'm here with them all the time. And I think us being able to work so closely together, we really are able to give our clients just the best of all of us.
I mean, I think it says something too that we work in an office that is a home that's been converted into an office. So I sometimes joke, or when I bring clients here, you know, I'll say, you know, it's like I leave home and then I come home.
I moved to New Mexico in January of 1983, and at the time I thought I'd be here for 2 years. Well, here I am 30 years later. I love New Mexico. This community is unbelievable. I think it's one of the best places in the world to do business. People are so friendly and welcoming, and it's such a business-friendly environment, and it's a place where you can really make a mark. So it's why I've been here for 30 years, and I will be here as long as I'm here.
Well, that's Who Rocks for this week. If you'd like to watch any of our Who Rocks segments and find out how your business or organization can rock New Mexico, we invite you to go online to whorocksnm.com. I'm Richard Holcomb, inviting you to join us again next week for another Who Rocks New Mexico. Have a great week, everybody.